Well, good evening, everyone. You're listening to Red Pill 78. I am the Corruption Detector, and this is your Red Pill News. Hope everyone's having a lovely day and that you had a marvelous afternoon as well. We've got lots of news to get through today, so let's see what it's about. First of all, we've had many new posts from our favorite Anon. We're going to be taking little tidbits from all of those different posts and talking about the stories contained therein. The first story we're going to be going through is some breadcrumbs from Attorney General William Barr's yet-to-be-released Part 2 interview with Laura Ingraham, premiering tonight on Fox News. We've got some information regarding what he's saying about the state of this country and what's been done to our republic. We've also got some information about the biggest scandal in modern U.S. history and the idea that these people are going to see their day in court, so you can rest easy knowing that this is coming. We've also got a couple of quotes from President Trump asking why former President Barry has not endorsed Uncle Joe. That's kind of strange, don't you think? Also, a transcript has been released showing the confidential human source who tried to entrap George Papadopoulos. And numerous times on the tape, he says, no, absolutely not, it's illegal, and all referring to the campaign working with Russia or cracking into HRC's email. And finally, CBS News is at it again. They have again played the Italian hospital footage, trying to pass it off as the situation here in the United States. But they are not going to get away with it. People know what's going on now. All right, guys, I want everyone to sit back, relax, grab your popcorn, and we'll be right back after a brief word from our sponsor. If CV-19 hasn't turned your financial life upside down and you need help to sort out your choices to get back on track, you should talk to the team at Noble Gold. They've helped hundreds of families through this crisis and can guide you back to safety and give you ideas of how to get there. When you need a financial friend, Noble Gold will be there, and you can contact them at 877-646-5347. Once again, that's 877-646-5347, or you can hit the link below, tell them Red Pill 78 sent you, and remember, when you support my sponsors, you support this channel. All right, guys, thanks for sticking around. First of all, today we've got a bit of a laugh from my good friend Matt Couch, and it was actually a video taken by Ashley St. Clair, but you got to see this look on President Trump's face and Bill Barr's face after he absolutely destroys the media in the press room today. Let's take a look.
False negatives or false positives.
I have a question for you. So we have a lot of very angry media all around this room, and they want one of these seats. But because of social distancing, we are keeping them empty, and they are keeping them empty. Will there ever be a time when all of those really angry people who don't like me much to start off with, but now they really don't like me, will there ever be a time when these seats are full, like full to the brim like it used to be, where people are almost sitting on each other's lap, and this whole row over here is packed, and now they're outside wanting to get in, and they're very jealous of all of these reporters. Will we ever have that again, or is that something that will be, you know, it'll look like this forever?
So we're learning a lot about social distancing and respiratory diseases, and I think that's we have to have in the future.
President Trump's face and Bill Barr's face. Bill Barr was like, nice one, bro. You got him. And President Trump is the consummate troll. Oh, look at him go.
Mr. President.
I absolutely love President Trump. Bill Barr is a great asset to have, and clearly they work very well together. All right, so next we have a tweet here from Luke Goldberg. Methods found this earlier today, and while we were discussing it on Quarantine at 2 p.m., actually right after we discussed it, it was posted to the board by our favorite Anon. We thought that was a nice little coincidence. And here is a preview, part 2 of the Barr interview with Ingraham. What happened to POTUS was one of the greatest travesties in American history. No basis for this investigation. What's even more concerning is what happened after the campaign, a whole pattern of events to sabotage the presidency. Allow the gravity of that statement from Attorney General Bill Barr to sink in. He knows exactly what happened. The investigation run by John Durham, which is very shortly going to be revealed to the public, along with the indictments as a result of the investigation into the FISA abuse. This is a very, very powerful statement. There is no mistaking the fact that these people are not going to get away with the crimes they committed, not only against President Trump, but against our great republic and by proxy, the people of this wonderful country. Let's go ahead and take a listen to Attorney General Bill Barr in this little clip.
To be frustrated, because I think what happened to him was one of the greatest travesties in American history. Without any basis, they started this investigation of his campaign, and even more concerning, actually, is what happened after the campaign, a whole pattern of events while he was president. To sabotage the presidency, and I think that, or at least had the effect of sabotaging the presidency.
So right there, Bill Barr admitting what was done, knowing the fact that they have the players involved, they have the investigation complete, they are simply putting it together in a nice little package that the American public can digest, and they're probably making arrangements to unseal those FISA indictments and bring these people to justice. Now, the big question is, how much of this is going to be public? I don't think that they're going to go in with a live television crew and show them breaking down Jim Comey's door and throwing him in handcuffs, but I certainly believe that once they're put in cuffs, their pictures are going to be paraded all across the media. And it's certainly going to be a big story on this channel right here. So let's talk about some of the information in a couple of the posts that were dropped right around the same time. Now, just prior to posting the Luke Goldberg status, our favorite Anon said FISA indictments equals start. Now, many people are hoping that tomorrow on 4/10/20, we're going to see some type of public announcement regarding those indictments. It would be absolutely pitch perfect if that's what happened. I'm not going to say that that's what's going to take place because I really don't know. But if I had to guess a date, I would say that that would probably be a really good time to do it. So then once we were given the status for Luke Goldberg's post, giving us some insight as to Bill Barr's frame of mind in terms of this investigation, that really ties it together for me, considering the fact that we have the interview tonight. Tomorrow's going to be 4/10/20. We know that Durham was put in last May, so it's been about a year. He's had plenty of time to do the investigation. We know that John Brennan is a major focus of the investigation. He had a lot to do with this, and we also know that the clowns in America had a major role to play as well. Now, after we had the Luke Goldberg post, we have this one right here showing the poster for Hunters Become the Hunted. Now, this clearly ties back into Hunter B, his partner Devin A, and all of their dealings with Burisma in the Ukraine. Now, there is a post showing a video of President Trump talking about being a wartime president, and we're asked to compare and contrast. Dates are important. Let's go ahead and look at this clip.
But I want to say that I know that this is a challenging time for all Americans. We're enduring a great national trial, and we will prove that we can meet the moment. I want to assure the American people that we're doing everything we can each day to confront and ultimately defeat this horrible, invisible enemy. We're at war. In a true sense, we're at war, and we're fighting an invisible enemy. Think of that. So it cost me billions of dollars to be president, and I am so happy I did it. Because who cares? Who cares? I'm really happy with the job we're doing, and I'm glad that this team and me are here for this horrible thing. I mean, it's a number of people have said it, and I feel it, actually. I'm a wartime president. This is a war. This is a war, different kind of a war than we've ever had. But I'm a little upset with China, I'll be honest with you, because as much as I like President Xi and as much as I respect the country and admire the country, I have great admiration for the country, what they've done in a short period of time. Of course, our previous presidents allowed that to happen. You should say thank you very much to all of them. But they should have told us about this. And I did ask him whether or not we could send some people in. They didn't want that. Out of pride, I think really out of pride. They don't want us sending people into China to help them. you will see our economy skyrocket once this is over. I think it's going to skyrocket. It's a pent-up demand. It's a built-up demand, and I guess you really have to say who knows, but I think it's going to be a tremendous day when we win this war, and we will win the war. We want to win the war with as few, if you look at it, just deaths as possible.
So compare and contrast President Trump to presidents we've had here in the United States in the past. What he said right there was so true. Most people come into office as the president of the United States in order to make billions or millions of dollars. President Trump spent billions of his own money so that he could be here to lead the country, and thank God he is, because it's only because of him, his actions, and the plan of his administration that we were able to be in such an incredible place financially and spiritually in this nation. No matter what they try to put into play to bring him down, they're not going to be able to do it. We are, in fact, fighting an invisible enemy. This silent war is not simply about this current CV-19 situation that we find ourselves in. You and I know that this is simply a part of the plan that these people put into place so that they could try to bring President Trump down. How convenient that everything seems to happen under President Trump, overseen more natural disasters and terrible events than any other president in our nation's history. Yet each time he continues to plug along, and America continues to be renewed over and over and over again. It doesn't matter what they put into play, whatever is left in their playbooks, President Trump is very, very close to the end of this game. And we will have 4 more years, my friends. Mark my words. President Trump is a revelation in terms of what an American politician can be. I think all of us had lost faith in this system and what was going to happen to our country, because we saw people come in, enrich themselves, and then move on with a book deal and millions of dollars in their bank account. President Trump is probably the only president in American history who's going to leave office with less money than he came in with. He doesn't take a dime. He does not do anything improper. President Trump is the only person in history who could have led us to this moment and allowed us to be strong enough to make our way through it, despite everything that these people try to throw at him. President Trump also talked about the timeline with respect to China letting us know what was going on. They didn't want us to go over there because they didn't want us to know how bad the situation was, and they also didn't want to give us a heads up. That makes a big difference. Dates are very important, and we talked yesterday about the date, January 15th, which was the date that Pelosi allowed for the articles of impeachment to be passed over. Just happened to be the date that the person with CV-19 who came to the United States and spread it around left that country. Now compare and contrast President Trump, his attitude towards America and Americans, and his attitude towards other leaders. He does not back down. He is strong. He is resolute, and we will continue to fight and win this invisible war. Now, the next post is a bit of fun. This is a screen grab from April 5th on Malik's account, Malik being the brother of the former president. And wouldn't you know it, hashtag WWG1WGA. And there is the bell right there. Incredible. Looks like Malik is one of us. For many years now, we've known that he was keyed into what happened and the history surrounding his somewhat murky brother. But now I think that it goes without saying he is certainly on the right side. Now, in the next post, we've got a retweet of Donald Trump here from December 22nd of this past year, 2019. Now, he says the Democrats and crooked Hillary paid for and provided a fake dossier with phony information gotten from foreign sources, pushed it to the corrupt media and dirty cops, and have now been caught. They spied on my campaign. They tried to cover it up, just like Watergate, but bigger. I know that many of us saw this at the time it was posted. I'm sure that if you didn't, you must have just not been paying attention, but President Trump tweets a lot, so I don't necessarily hold it against you. But this is a big statement right here. President Trump has always been aware of what happened to him and how deep the betrayal against this country and him and his office ran. Now, the post itself says, do people really believe the biggest scandal in modern U.S. history will go unpunished? And then in the kill box, scot-free. Back channels are important. Patriots stand at the ready, shills whine. I love the message being sent to us in this post and in President Trump's tweet. He lays out exactly what happened and what they did to him, and our favorite Anon tells us that there's absolutely no way that they're going to get away with it. How could someone participate in the largest scandal in the history of the United States and get away with doing such a criminal act? Well, the fact of the matter is they won't and they can't. And then the fact that he says patriots stand at the ready and shills whine. I know that my viewers are not shills, and I know that all of you are standing at the ready. They have sent an army of shills out there to try to throw us off and to try to put us on our heels, maybe back up a couple of feet. But I know that you and I know that I are not among those. Shills whine, patriots stand at the ready, so patriots, get ready. Now, in the most recent post, our favorite Anon says the truth is right in front of you. I'm sure everyone watching remembers this story. CBS News got caught playing footage from an Italian hospital, trying to pass it off as if it was in New York City, in an effort to over-exaggerate what has been happening in our country. Say that they show us Italy, they say it's New York, people see it, they don't know any better, and they get freaked out. Well, they got caught at the time that they did it, and wouldn't you know it, they had the gall to do it again. They have been caught broadcasting this misleading footage for a second time during this situation with CV-19. So I guess it was about 2 weeks ago on March 22nd when they used deceptively edited footage and tried to pass it off as footage from a New York hospital. They said it was an editing mistake, and they say we took immense steps to remove it from all platforms and shows. Well, over the weekend, CBS News did it again. They used the same footage edited in a misleading manner, this time talking about a hospital in Philadelphia. I can't believe they had the gall to do it again. Now, Alex right here is the account that I saw it at first before, and luckily he caught it again. So let's go ahead and take a look at them doing it a second time.
In Pennsylvania, cases are skyrocketing at the rate of 1,000 a day. Governor Tom Wolf is appealing to citizens to help.
The exact same footage. They did it again. This is horribly misleading. They are drumming up fear and anxiety among the American public, and I urge everyone to please keep a cool head. If you see it on CBS News, you can bet it's fake. Now, as our favorite Anon said, the truth is right in front of you. They can't help but lie. They have received their 4 a.m. talking points, and they've got a narrative that they must uphold. And they're counting on the fact that people won't be swift enough to pick this stuff up. They're counting on the fact that somebody in Pittsburgh is not going to be watching the news in New York, who's not going to be watching the news in Italy, and therefore they put this lie forward. And not to mention the fact that they lied about the fact that they scrubbed it from their archives so that it wouldn't happen again. But here we have yet another example of a mistake being made by the MSM, and that mistake is detrimental to the president and to the United States of America. We're asked in this article, has the media ever made a mistake that was in Trump's favor? No, but we already knew that. And this is not the only thing they've lied about, the only thing that they've tried to do to drum up hysteria and fear here in America. Now, an excellent question asked in this article, why is CBS News forced to use another country's B-roll footage to try to fool the American people into believing things are far worse than they are? Could it be that they are nowhere near as horrible as they are reporting? Could it be that the entire story being broadcast on every single news outlet 24 hours a day is nothing more than a lie? The entire situation, a horrible, horrible lie. Not to say that people are not losing their lives, but we can say definitively that the amount of people who are passing is no different or less than the number of people passing from the regular flu, which hits us every single year and takes lives when it does. Unfortunately, this one was used in order to create hysteria and fear-mongering here in this country and as a tool, a political tool of the enemies of the president. Thank you very much, CBS, for fully exposing yourself and finally showing us the truth. Now, here we have a tweet from Team Trump, which is a clip from the press conference yesterday, where President Trump asked the question, why hadn't the last president endorsed Uncle Joe long ago? Don't you think that's strange? He says, what does he know that the American people don't? Well, let's go ahead and take a listen.
Is he dropping out or not? That's not dropping out. When you keep your delegates and then you want more delegates before you get to the convention, that's a weird deal going on there. I don't know what's happening. And I don't know why President Obama hasn't supported Joe Biden a long time ago. There's something he feels is wrong. Why isn't he'll come out? I'm sure he's got to come out at some point, because he certainly doesn't want to see me for 4 more years. We're not. We think a little bit differently. You know what? I'll tell you. It does amaze me that President Obama hasn't supported Sleepy Joe. It just hasn't happened. When's it going to happen? When is it going to happen? Why isn't it? He knows something that you don't know.
Barry knows something that the reporters don't know, but it's nothing that we don't know. And finally, guys, we have a huge story. George Papadopoulos has said publicly that there is a conspiracy case being built around those who created the Trump-Russia collusion hoax. This would be an amazing thing to get dropped tomorrow on 4/10/20, considering the fact that it was shown as a date as well as a signature on at least one of the posts. Now, the idea of a conspiracy is a secret plan by a group to do something unlawful or harmful. And that conspiracy is the focus of the investigation that John Durham has been working on for the last year. Now, today there was a transcript released, and this transcript has been alluded to on numerous occasions by people like Trey Gowdy. Now, Papadopoulos was set up and lied to and then indicted and charged by the former president's deep state. And he has now been shown to be completely blameless. We've known that there was this secret transcript where Papa D absolutely denied the fact that anything improper had happened with the campaign or in regard to any hacked emails. Now, he says, my profanity-laced interview with yet another loser informant has been published. I promise you there is a conspiracy case being built up around this frame job. I know exactly who it is. Now, the name of the confidential human source inside that transcript has been redacted. So as of today, we don't know who it is. But the information contained therein is quite interesting. Now, Congressman Devin Nunes was another big name in politics who had spoken about this transcript that had yet to be revealed. And back on April 7th of 2019, he was speaking with Maria Bartiromo. I covered it here on the channel at that time, but here is his quote. He says, "This is why we've been working so hard for 2.5 years, waiting for a real attorney general, which we have now in Attorney General Barr. A grown-up is finally in the room, and which is why we're prepared to do a lot of cleanup here. We couldn't really send these criminal referrals over without an attorney general in place, so we're prepared this week to notify the attorney general that we are prepared to send those referrals over and brief him if he wishes." Now, it's been about a year since those referrals were handed over, and it would have included the transcript that was just released today. Now, make no mistake, Attorney General Bill Barr is firmly in charge of this Justice Department, and people like U.S. Attorney John Durham are doing the heavy lifting behind the scenes to put these people away and make them pay for the crimes they committed and bring those criminal referrals to fruition. Let's go ahead and take a look at a tweet from Methods, which includes some information directly from that transcript. Now, Methods has a slight excerpt from the transcript, and he says this transcript with George Papadopoulos, CT in the transcript, reads like an obvious setup by the informant, even to the point that George referred to the questioning being like another time when a potential Clowns in America plant tried to do the same thing. Now, the transcript was released by Catherine Herridge at CBS News. This has been redacted, and it's been put out for public release. So that means that the Justice Department has released this, and it's now out in the public domain, so it's fair game to talk about. And just keep in mind, the Justice Department would not put this out there unless everything that was necessary by holding on to this transcript was completely taken care of. Let's take a look at the content. All right, so CHS is confidential human source. CT is George Papadopoulos. It begins, but you don't think anyone would have done it, like undercover or anything like that? And George responds, no, I don't think so. And you know what's interesting? A guy, when I was in blank, the guy was, I did this blank for blank, and he's blank at blank. And he continues, and he was like a big advisor to like someone important. It's redacted. He asked me that same question, and he actually was probably like going going in and telling the clowns in America or something if I'd have told him something else. I assume that's why he was asking, and I told him absolutely not. There's absolutely no reason. First of all, it's illegal, and to do that stuff. Yeah, but, and then George continues, no one would put their effing life, and then it ends. Now, he's referring to the idea that the campaign or anybody in Russia helped the campaign to get those emails because it's illegal and they didn't need to do it. HRC was a hated figure in America, and she still is to this day. No one wants HRC to be president. The only people who do are the big corporate donors and the global transnational criminals who fund her campaigns. They want her in office, but the American public certainly do not. So I find it very interesting that George was quickly able to discern that this person was a plant in the same way that the other person was a plant. Now, the FBI had initially said that they didn't believe Papadopoulos when he denied on multiple occasions the fact that the campaign had nothing to do with those emails. So they just decided to never include it. Now, this would be considered exculpatory information. George Papadopoulos had told an informant, a number of informants, that he or the campaign had nothing to do with it, and still they went and hit him up for perjury and process crimes and put him in prison for 19 days or something like that. But this is another thing that the FBI is going to have to answer for, and I guarantee it's going to be something that comes out when those FISA indictments are unsealed and we get an announcement from the Justice Department talking about the crimes of the conspiracy to take down the President of the United States. Well, guys, I think that's all that I've got for you today. Another round of incredible posts with amazing information, really lifting the spirits of the people who needed it. I'll be as honest as I can. I want this to happen as much as you guys. And of course, I would like it to happen very, very soon. But as I've always said, the timeline on which this takes place is going to be what's best for the investigation, for the president, and for the country. So, once again, thank you for joining me. As always, this has been Red Pill 78. I am the Corruption Detector, and this was your Red Pill News. Good luck, everyone, and God bless. Hey guys, one more thing. It's Red Pill. I just want to say thank you once again to everybody that has helped to support the channel. If you'd like to get involved, you can go ahead and check the show notes in the pinned comment and the description. There's always good information in there. I've got a couple of backup channels. I ask that you go ahead and subscribe to them because if anything does happen here, I will start publishing there. And if you want things like merchandise or anything else, there is a bunch of information that you can find right below this video. All right, guys, thank you very much, and I'll see you tomorrow.